The question I want to discuss this morning is, was Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel, the Jewish people, ever truly united as one? Of course not. Even our cliches say that we have two Jews, you're going to get three opinions. And the Jew on the lonely island builds two synagogues. The one he attends and the one he doesn't step foot into. In reality, we were never truly one people, united in leadership, action, and ethos or values. From our very beginnings, we were brothers, then tribes with their own identities, and even sometimes in conflict with one another. Of course, above these tribal identities was our ancestor Jacob, Isaac, and then Abraham, and of course God. But that really never allowed for lasting unity. Even David's united kingdom could not last beyond Solomon. And yet, unity has always been our idealized dream that we use to ensure and really pass on the idea of Jewish continuity. We have a unity of purpose, and that we don't want the Jewish people to disappear into oblivion. So while we may constantly squabble over who is a Jew and what a Jew is supposed to do and believe, we agree that however we define Jewishness, those who want to stay part of whatever you want to call Jewish identity, we want to pass it on to the next generation and beyond. So that is the paradox that we live in this world. We want Am Yisrael Chai, but we can't even agree on what it means to be part of Am Yisrael, the people of Israel. A lot of ink has been used, I don't like to say spilled, to come up with a definition of Jewishness that pleases all, unites all of us together. Kind of gets that unitary theory in science that we're always looking for. But we haven't found that elusive definition. And I don't think we're going to achieve it until the Messianic age. So until then, just like in physics where we have to have different models for different experiences and different lenses, I suggest that we maintain several imperfect models of what peoplehood is and use that in our toolkit and bring them out when it's needed to bring some unity of purpose. Amongst these criteria, in my mind, are family, covenant, communal sacrifice, mutual aid. Family. Our first name was Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel. We came to Egypt as 70 family members. A father, 12 sons, the daughter disappears unfortunately, and their families. Maintaining family, we know, is a strong Jewish value. The fifth commandment instructs us to honor and revere our parents. And we know in our own personal experiences that family bonds can help us overcome great differences. Many of us have family members who live very different Jewish lives than we do, and I'm not even to say different political ideals as well. We have family who are Haredi. We have family who are completely unobservant. And many of us are able to be flexible to maintain these strong family bonds. We know of Haredi parents who do not cut off their children, even after they leave the Haredi fold. I just saw a video of a couple in Israel where they had two wedding ceremonies on the same day. One, they put on the shtreimel, had a traditional Hasidic wedding for their family, and then they took off all that garb and had a secular party for their new friends. living in contradiction. And we know the story of Joseph, where we just concluded today, the power of forgiveness that comes with family. But even that sometimes breaks down, because we also have family members raising children as non-Jews, and doesn't seem that Jewish continuity is their own intention. And so we need another definition of people to supplement when that breaks down. So we have the covenantal definition. In the Torah, Bnei Yisrael are not just blood relatives. They are part of various covenants that God forges with the people. We stood at Mount Sinai. We left Egypt every Passover night. And non-relatives can join this covenant, because we do understand that it was a metaphor that we all stood at Sinai. So anyone who wants to stand at Sinai and be part of the Jewish people can do that. So in addition to being Bnei Yisrael, we are Bnei Brit. Bnei Brit. That's what that group is. The people of the covenant. And in the language of the covenant, we have Shabbat, which Achad Ha'am said is kept the people, and we are all in ideal. But often we disagree. What happened at Mount Sinai? What does that covenant call us? And, of course, we have to find another idea of what is it? We have two Jews and two opinions. How do we stick together? So what's the next idea? How can we understand what goes on at Mount Sinai? We can be like Heschel and be a pluralist and say that we heard different things. So what model works with that? The sacrificial model. If we join the IDF, we are Jewish people willing to put our lives on the line for our ideal. The state of Israel is the land of the Jewish people, and it's extremely diverse. But that breaks down too right now, going back to our Haredi brothers and sisters, because unfortunately the leaders are too afraid that their Haredi followers are going to join the IDF and leave the Haredi fold. So we need to find a way to sell them what shared sacrifice is. That when we say we are Bnei Yisrael, Am Yisrael, we need to have shared sacrifice. So all of these things we need to bring together and say we are family when we need to be. We are part of the covenant when we need to be. And we are also willing to put ourselves on the line when we need to be. But that leaves us the last group that's not fitting in right now. Our family members who say they are Jewish, but don't want to support the state of Israel. What do we do with them? Do we send them out of the fold of the Jewish people? Or do we continue to find ways to share with them that we have to stick together? I'm not ready to give up on them. Because as Mordechai Kaplan taught us, peoplehood is something that is idea of concentric circles. And we need to show our Zionist questioning Jewish brothers and sisters that they need to stick close to us, because the farther they get away, the more threatened we are. We can have universal values. The Torah teaches us to have universal values. But the Torah also tells us, and Mordechai Kaplan and others, to start on the inside. Yes, with our family, with our nation, and only then to go out of it. And Kaplan says in his theology, what is God? What is this force? It's the force for looking for salvation. The force for bringing on continuity and bringing betterness to our lives and to the world. And so we do need to find ways to stay united. And I end with a midrash that comes from this very Torah portion that becomes where the idea of Shema Yisrael is from. Jacob could see, prophesy, however you want to sort of see it, how these 12 tribes are going to squabble with each other and how they're never always going to be fully united. But yet they have honor for their father. And they say to him, Shema Yisrael, hear Israel, meaning himself the person, Adonai Eloheinu, we are going to accept God. Adonai Echad, God is one, and we are going to strive to be one, however that is hard to be. And Jacob then says, and this is where the midrash of how we get the Baruch Shem, Jacob says, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Praise is the name of God and God's sovereignty forever and ever. So we're not going to hit full unity probably until the Messianic age, but it means we never give up on the dream of Am Yisrael Chai. Israel lives on forever. Amen.